All right, 6:55 right now on your Monday morning. A reminder, the news does not end here. Here's what's coming up at 7 a.m. right here on WCNC Plus. New information we're learning about the plane crash that killed Greg Biffle, plus the new information hoping to come from that cockpit voice recorder.
Greg Biffle left a legacy not just on the racetrack, but in his humanitarian efforts. We'll have more of that coming up.
This morning, we're already seeing delays at Charlotte Douglas as folks head home for the holidays.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, it got canceled.
What travelers are expecting as the rush picks up again today.
This week, you'll probably be eating a lot of sweets, but you may want to be careful.
The everyday impact those extra holiday pounds can have later in the year. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus.
Everyone's mostly on time this morning. Some minor slowdowns, though, from Matthews Mint Hill area into the Queen City. Otherwise, it's been a very calm morning so far.
And a warmer and wild forecast for the last day of Hanukkah, the mid-50s, mid-60s tomorrow, and then the lower to the mid-70s Christmas Eve through the last weekend of 2025. Unreal. Just letting you know, after this set of 7 days, it will get much cooler, starting to feel like actual winter. So enjoy this more October-like pattern.
Panthers won, and then the sun came out.
There you go. How about that? We'll see you at 7 a.m. over on streaming. Streaming live right now at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus here on a Monday morning. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Julie Kay, in for Lisa this morning. We're going to straight up get guys.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got it now.
Chris.
All right. Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hello,
Okay,
good morning
you checking
to
your
you.
forecast.
It's a Monday. It's
Yeah.
okay. Julie, great to have you, by the way. Welcome to WCNC Plus, and everyone who's watching, it is so good to see you. Happy Monday morning. Look at this Beautiful, beautiful Carolina blues and then a nice golden glint across the horizon. Now we're less than 30 minutes away from our sunrise. It is 35 degrees right now around Charlotte, 29 for you in Rock Hill, 28 around Hickory, and 18 degrees. Perfect conditions up in the mountains for making some snow. And they need to do it today and really tomorrow night, because after that, we're seeing well above average temperatures. Our Dallas camera also showing the change. Snows those clouds off in the distance. We are going to increase the cloud cover a little bit later on. You've seen more of those clouds also over here in Tennessee. So here's how today goes down. We're going to be sunny for the first half. Now, once you get to the early to mid-afternoon, you're going to start to see some of these upper level clouds and then a lot more cloud cover heading into the late afternoon and the evening. We'll still have some breaks here and there. Overcast skies are also going to be a possibility. But then once you get to tomorrow morning, there's a slight chance that maybe of a sprinkle here, better chance for barely a light rain. I'm talking about a trace up along the Tennessee border. Then we start to clear things out. So kind of the reverse of today. We start off cloudier, then it gets sunnier. Unlike today, it's sunnier and it gets cloudier. And then our high of 55 is the only day that is normal over the next 7. We should be rocking 54 degrees for a typical December 22nd, but no. Instead, we have the 60s and the 70s on the horizon. The best way to warm things up is blast the wind out of the southwest. And when I say blast, I'm talking about wind gusts anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour. I think this is a little bit more aggressive. This is model data, so truly, I think a gust to around 25 is going to be the norm, but we could have a few outliers. And here's what our wind gusts look like. I think this is a little more reasonable, picking up the winds for tomorrow, but still seeing on and off gusts anywhere from about 15 to 25 much of the afternoon, blowing things around, and they're still going to be fairly gusty through the evening as well. So just kind of monitor those inflatables and make sure they are anchored down. Either side of 60 degrees. Friday exceeded expectations, 63 degrees. And then today, it will be cooler by far compared to any days that we have going forward, because tomorrow back to the 60s, lower to the mid 70s, where it's going to be a warm Christmas holiday. And dare I even say, record-breaking or record-tying. For Christmas Eve, the record is 73. I think that we could at least tie that. We're going to miss the record for your Christmas Day, but hey, still close enough. This looks to tie for the second warmest of all time. And then once you get to the end of the weekend, I think we're going to start to cool things down. This temperature could come down a little bit. Looks to still be an okay forecast for the last home game for the Panthers, but I want to show you to take advantage of what we have, because the lower to the mid 70s are not going to last long. Before you know it, it's feeling more like January for the last days of December. There it is. We have a special treat for you. Not only do we have Julie, we have Brittany here with us. Good morning.
My word, yes, it's definitely a treat to be here with you guys this morning. Hi, WCNC Plus. You oftentimes see me in the afternoon and evening, but today a different story. We're here talking about the traffic. Current traffic not creating a lot of issues there on the roadways, but north and southbound here between Nations Ford Road and Tybola looks pretty good. In fact, southbound is probably a little bit more active than northbound, which is not something you typically see this time of the morning. Very minor slowdowns here on 85 northbound, mainly near McAdenville-Lowell area, so that's right around exit 23, heading into Mecklenburg County from Gaston County. So again, that's 85 northbound in some of those areas. Other than that, one active crash here, still Summit Avenue, a crash there at 2nd Street to 4th Street, not creating any major issues, but this just outside of Uptown, so be mindful of that, especially if you're trying to get on 77. A wider view shows no more additional issues right now, but when's your worst time to travel today? We got to know this, especially if we'll be out on the roads. According to AAA, it's today and tomorrow, 1 to 7 p.m., but very minor, minimal traffic expected Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Well, this morning we are learning more about that deadly plane crash that claimed the lives of 7 people, including NASCAR legend Greg Biffle. Right now, the plane's cockpit voice recorder is headed to the National Transportation Safety Board's headquarters to be examined. According to the agency's latest briefing over the weekend, their main focus is to figure out why that jet returned to Statesville Regional Airport shortly after takeoff. Officials say while the plane was stable on approach, it was coming in too low. Investigators noted that they're not aware of any Mayday calls sent from the aircraft, but they did confirm somebody sent a text message saying emergency landing just before the plane went down. And as remembrance and reflection continue following that plane crash, we're learning more about the legacy Greg Biffle is leaving behind off the track. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Vane now live from Mooresville on the NASCAR veteran's impact at the Carolinas through his service and, even more importantly, some of his compassion, Richard.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Ben. Good morning to you. Good morning, Julie. Good Monday morning, all folks watching us on the Plus. Basically, you talked about his compassion for folks in Western Carolina after Helene and what he did. We just learned about that. But his outreach and philanthropy and his caring for others extends especially from here in Mooresville. Just a few blocks away from where I'm standing is the Humane Society, or the Animal Humane Center shelter for pets. And he did a lot with his wife as far as that's concerned. Just part of a legacy that we're now finding out, but folks in this area have known for quite a while. As we look at video, we can tell you that this is basically something that Greg Biffle has always been about. Beyond his racing legacy, Biffle and his wife, Christina, were active leaders in Lake Norman Humane, a nonprofit animal rescue here in Mooresville. The couple served together on the organization's board of directors. They helped build the shelter's mission to care and rehome animals in need. Their roles included fundraising, advocacy, and of course, using their public platform to raise awareness for animal welfare. Those local rescuers that we spoke with say that the Biffles helped shape Lake Norman's Humane from its early days, and they left a lasting impact on the community's animals and the volunteers who work there. In statements following the crash, the organization described their deaths as devastating, a devastating loss for both the Lake Norman region and the animals they championed.
Disbelief, numbness, and then you turn to sadness and still disbelief. Such a huge loss, And Christina, my goodness, she was just something. She was a force to be reckoned with. They're going to be truly missed by many, and especially all of us at Lake Norman Humane.
Yeah, right now we're still getting details on funeral arrangements and the way NASCAR will go about a lasting tribute to Greg Biffle. And once we get all of this, of course, we'll present it to you here as well as all of our platforms. We're in Mooresville. This is Richard Devane. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Richard, thank you. Happening today, this woman is set to face a judge in connection to the death of a child in East Charlotte. According to records, Susan Robinson faces several child abuse charges after a 6-year-old girl was found dead last Tuesday at a home on Gwynn Hill Road. The documents claim the child had broken bones, several rashes, scars, and burns on her body. Also this morning, we're following a number of developing stories from over the weekend. First, one person is recovering after being assaulted on a Cats bus Saturday night. Medic tells us it happened on North Sharon Amity Road in East Charlotte. No word yet on what led up to the incident or if an arrest has been made. It comes as safety on public transit is a growing concern in Charlotte, with 2 stabbings on the light rail in recent months. City leaders say making transit safe is their #1 priority in the new year. CMPD also investigating after a man was hit and killed on the John Belk Freeway near Uptown. Officers say Waymod Cruz was walking in the middle of the road Saturday near Kenilworth Avenue when he was struck. Investigators say the driver was not impaired. So far, no charges have been filed. And another person is recovering from critical injuries after being stabbed in Northwest Charlotte. Medic tells us it happened on Shelter Rock Court Sunday morning. That's near Mount Holly, Huntersville Road, and I-45. CMPD hasn't shared any other details.
With Christmas just 3 days away at this point, a Northwest Charlotte community is rallying around a young boy who just lost his mother to violence. Folks dropping off toys for the son of Frazier Baker. She was the Charlotte mother found dead in a car earlier this month. We spoke to Baker's brother, who says he is so grateful for the community support.
His mom not gonna be with him to see the things that she want to see for him. So just give back, just give back to him, so he had one of the best Christmas. That's my nephew, and I know my sister seen this, she'll be sitting there smiling.
The suspect in Baker's death, Lorenza Inman, is currently behind bars without bond. 7:10 now on the dot. Thousands of Epstein-related records being released, but not everybody is satisfied with what they've seen so far. There are growing questions about what's still hidden in those files. Coming up next.
Welcome back. The Justice Department release of thousands of records related to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein continued this weekend after Congress passed bipartisan legislation last month forcing the documents to go public.
NBC News' Alice Barr reports on how it comes as the DOJ faces growing questions over how those files are really being rolled out.
Mounting frustration this morning among members of Congress and survivors of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein after the Department of Justice failed to release all the Epstein files by a Friday deadline required by law.
They're flouting the spirit and the letter of the law, and I won't be satisfied until the survivors are satisfied.
The House Republican and Democrat who've led the charge on forcing the documents' release now threatening to hold Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt or impeach Justice Department officials, pointing to the thousands of documents still not released and hundreds of blacked out, redacted pages.
The courts are going to find that these were excessive.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche defending the document rollout in an interview with NBC's Kristen Welker.
We're going through a very methodical process with hundreds of lawyers looking at every single document and making sure that victims' names and any of the information from victims is protected and redacted.
Blanche addressing outcry over photos and documents posted and then removed, including this one with an image of President Trump alongside photos of several women that the Justice Department later reposted.
We learned after releasing that photograph that there were concerns about those women and the fact that we had put that photo up. So we pulled that photo down. It has nothing to do with President Trump.
The DOJ underscoring that no redactions were made to protect prominent people, while a group representing survivors called the release a step backward for transparency and accountability. If Congress did vote to hold Attorney General Bondi in contempt, she could be detained until the Justice Department complies with the law. The deputy AG says the DOJ already is complying, and Bondi posted a statement reaffirming that the Justice Department is committed to bringing charges against anyone involved in Epstein's crimes. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
On Sunday, President Donald Trump announced he is appointing Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry to serve as special envoy to Greenland. It's unclear if he will have to step down if he accepts the special envoy job. The president posted on social media saying he chose Landry because the Republican governor understands how essential Greenland is to U.S. national security. The president has in the past expressed interest in buying Greenland from Denmark, even though the Danish government has repeatedly said the island is not for sale.
Vice President J.D. Vance issued a stark warning to young conservatives during an appearance Sunday at Turning Point USA's America Fest. That's the organization founded by the late Charlie Kirk. The vice president, who many believe will run for president in 2028, urged supporters to come together and not fight among one another.
And when I say that I'm going to fight alongside of you, I mean all of you, each and every one. President Trump did not build the greatest coalition in politics by running his supporters through endless, self-defeating purity tests. He says, "Make America great again," because every American is invited.
Some conservative critics at the conference condemned other members of the MAGA movement for their willingness to engage in racist and anti-Semitic rhetoric. The vice president did not address those concerns when he spoke. 7:16 right now. A sudden surge of floodwater left cars underwater and one person dead in California. The critical caution officials are now issuing to anybody on the roads. Chris also is going to tell us more next.
Welcome back. A severe flash flooding swept through Redding, California on Sunday. According to the National Weather Service, the heavy rainfall left roadways and interstate ramps inundated, causing several vehicles to be stranded in floodwaters and prompting ongoing water rescues by local police and fire crews. At least one person has already died as a result of the flash floods, and you can just see how dramatic that scene is here. Officials are urging motorists to exercise extreme caution and avoid flooded streets. And Chris, flash flooding is no joke. This is very serious.
And flash flooding usually has to have some sort of predecessor event, or like at least a precursor that's going to saturate the soils. And when you have non-stop rain, a conveyor belt of moisture, that's going to happen. And you've heard this term before here on WCNC Plus. Atmospheric river. It's another river, and you can actually really see it well here on our satellite and radar on these big boxes right here representing flash flood warnings that are still active. That front is passing, creating some snow on the eastern side of California, but it's nonstop rain. The rain is getting a little bit lighter, and eventually you're going to cut off that transport. But here's the atmospheric river. You can see it right here, and if I show you the moisture values, it's really not until about Wednesday that we fully get rid of it, and then it starts to filter in some drier air. So really today and tomorrow is the transition, and then they'll have some drier weather just in time for Christmas. Speaking of, so do we. These are our rain chances. A whole lot of nothing, and maybe something on Sunday heading into Monday. That's the one part of the forecast I think could change on the 7-day. And I'm also showing you this because I want you to take advantage of the 70s, because this doesn't happen all the time. We're talking about near record temperatures, even record highs, and some of the warmest temperatures we've ever had on Christmas Day. Soon, the 70s in January and in February as well, they happen, but they're quite rare. So take advantage of them whenever we have spells like this, especially in 5 days straight. Then we have a front that's going to cool things down. We're back to 50 degrees next Monday, lower to the mid 40s, so even deeper into the chilly air for the last 2 days of the year. As far as our lows are concerned, those are going to drop as well, but very mild most mornings, either side of 50 degrees. I have a low of 55, by the way, on Saturday heading into Sunday. The normal for that day in climatology moves to 53. Eventually, we're back down below freezing. So this morning, some of us are freezing. Really, the next time the majority of the Charlotte area is going to drop down below 32 is going to be next Tuesday, heading into next Wednesday as well. And then you also could see a little bit of a warm up after that heading into the first of the year. How time flies. We're almost done with 2025. By the way, I looked at the record books. As of right now, this is the 11th warmest year on record. Last year, 2024, was the #1 spot. So we're just outside that top 10. Let's get right over to my friend Brittany, who's here with us on WCNC Plus. See how the morning commute's behaving.
Things are behaving so far so good. In fact, you can see 77 both north and southbound here look great. Kind of hard to see there on your screen because the sun is rising, but I promise you 77 looks pretty good too. I-85 northbound, we still have this slowdown here between Lowell and McAdamville heading into Mecklenburg County. That's due to a crash, but there's also one lane block still from some leftover overnight construction there. That's actually 85 southbound near Sam Wilson Road. So that's between exit 30, which is where you're trying to get off and go on 45, the outer inner loop, and of course head into Gaston County. So 2 issues there, one way southbound, one way northbound. Still an active crash here just outside of Uptown here from 2nd to 4th Street and Summit Avenue. Again, not creating any major issues. And then new crash here to report. This is Harris Houston Road there, a crash at Astoria Drive. This is just off 45 and Highway 49. So again, just a few things to be mindful of as you're heading out and about. Good thing is that all the crashes we've had so far this morning haven't created major significant backups. But I do want you to use extra caution on the roadways. I know it seems cliche to say pack your patience, but you really might have to do it even more so today and tomorrow, because auto customers are projected to be 90% of our Christmas AAA forecast, right? And that is up about 41 million more people overall between auto, air, and other modes of transportation since Thanksgiving. So if you traveled on Thanksgiving and you're thinking, I'm good, I've already done it this year, 41 million more people for Christmas in comparison.
All right, Brittany, thanks. Well, with just a few days until Christmas, hopefully you've decked the halls, you trimmed the tree. We do have a personal question, though, for you. Is that tree fresh cut or fake? Research shows that Ashe County, one of the top 3 counties with the most land devoted to Christmas tree farms in the country. We're very proud of that. However, those tree farmers say competition with artificial trees is getting stiffer by the year. The number of imported artificial trees have doubled over the past decade. And the United States has 35% fewer acres dedicated to producing Christmas trees than it did, say, 20 years ago. So we've been talking about it all morning. We wanted to know, were you team real tree or team fake tree? We got more responses to this than just about any other thing we've asked recently. So you all clearly have strong opinions on this. So make the big reveal. Where do we stand?
Say. Whoa! A tie?
That's cool.
This isn't surprising, though.
Yeah, it's
There's
true.
kind of an asterisk to everybody's answer from around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
get
so
it.
black and white always.
It depends.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of the Venn diagram, if you can. Like, I've done both. Like,
Yeah.
I love a real Christmas tree, but it is more work. You gotta water it,
more
to
work.
keep it safe. There's the pine needles. It smells great.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
But you, even though if you use an artificial tree, you keep it.
We keep it,
That's-
yeah.
yeah, that's the
No,
thing.
like the top of ours is very broken. And yeah, and it is a pain and it is mad, but we still keep it. every
Growing up
year.
as a kid, we used to bring it in with like the root ball still attached, like the burlap root ball, and then we would go and we'd plant it in the tree. I mean, in the yard, and inevitably it would be dead in 2 years. But it was we made the attempt of keeping it alive. We were
great.
just
Yeah.
horrible at actually keeping it alive.
It's not easy.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
definitely not.
Our live pictures this morning as the sun comes up over Leesburg Craig College there in Banner Elk. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus.
Good morning, everybody. This is actually the coldest morning that we are going to have over the next 7. Then we have a big time warm up. 19 degrees around Boone is 35 around Charlotte, and we have 29 around the Rock Hill areas. Keep that in mind. All in all, it is going to be a dry forecast. Check it out. Our rain chances barely anything over the coming days. So good news there. Now get ready for the big warm up. The warm up by tomorrow is back into the 60s. We should be about 54 degrees for a typical December 22nd. But then once we're on to the 23rd, 65 for Christmas Eve, 73, lower to the mid 70s. We're rocking from Christmas Eve all the way through December 27th. We should start to see a downturn of temperatures on Sunday. At that point, we're seeing a return to the 50s and 40s for our highs. So enjoy the warmth while we have it. We have Brittany in house with your morning commute. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Things are starting to get a bit more active there on the roadways. 77 north and southbound. You can kind of see the slowdown starting to creep up. Best travel time is really now through 10 a.m. if you are traveling across the Carolinas. I do think that folks are going to notice this if you're traveling from Gaston County into Mecklenburg County this morning. There is some slowdowns here between Lowell and McAdenville, so right around exit 23. Again, that's Gaston County heading into Mecklenburg County, so use caution on the roadways. We'll be back in 30.
Good morning and thanks for waking up with us here on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Julie Kay in for Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. This morning we continue to take a closer look at the NTSB investigation into the crash that killed NASCAR legend Greg Biffle and 6 others.
So here are some of the key takeaways from the latest NTSB briefing this weekend. The agency says it primarily wants to figure out why the business jet tried to return to the Statesville Regional Airport shortly after takeoff Thursday. It says the plane was stable on approach, but was coming in too low. Officials also tell us they're not aware of any mayday calls from the aircraft, but they did confirm someone sent a text message saying emergency landing before the plane went down. The NTSB examined both of the plane's engines. The plane's cockpit voice recorder is set to be examined in Washington. The agency's preliminary report is expected within 30 days.
Communities across North Carolina continue to reflect on how Biffle's charitable work impacted so many lives.
Elijah Skipper spoke to people in Asheville impacted by his kindness in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
Here at Celebrity Hot Dogs in Asheville, Greg Biffle isn't being remembered just for what he did on the track, but for how he showed up for Western North Carolina during Helene. Former NASCAR driver and owner of Celebrity Hot Dogs, Robert Presley, says he remembers Greg Biffle most for his relief efforts during Helene. Presley says Biffle volunteered his own helicopter, flying missions into isolated mountain communities where roads were washed out or blocked. According to Presley, those flights included delivering medicine, supplies, and helping get people to safety. Presley says Biffle routinely landed in difficult and dangerous conditions to reach people who needed immediate help, actions he believes directly saved lives during the storm's aftermath.
I think that's what we're going to remember him of. He put himself in some bad position, worse than what he did racing, running 200 miles an hour. He landed his helicopter in places that I don't think you should be trying to do, but expertise he put them in there, he saved some lives, he made sure people were safe.
Those who know Biffle say that the best way to honor his legacy is to show up for others the way he did and always pay it forward.
Today, we remember CMPD officer Mia Goodwin, who was killed in the line of duty 4 years ago. Officer Goodwin was directing traffic on I-85 after a tractor-trailer crash when a second crash struck her and several patrol cars. Officer Goodwin served with CMPD for 6 years in the University City Division. The department sharing a tribute on social media this morning, saying, quote, her courage and dedication continue to inspire and her sacrifice will never be forgotten. New this morning, one person is dead after an overnight crash in Chesterfield County. It happened just before midnight on Society Hill Road near Tate Lane. That's where South Carolina Highway Patrol says a pickup truck went off the road, flipped, and hit a tree. The driver, whose name has not been released, was pronounced dead on the scene. Now to a tragic update in East Charlotte. CMPD says a teenager now dead nearly a month after she was hit by a car. 15-year-old Amber Paris died Friday. According to police, on November 24th, Julio Jocop Vicente was speeding on Driftwood Drive and hit Paris while she was riding an electric bike. Paris was severely injured and placed in a medically induced coma until her death. Police say the suspect was arrested on November 25th and admitted to hitting the teen. He's now charged with felony hit and run. This morning, police believe a man struck and killed by a CSX train was lying on the track when it happened. Daniel Cotterman was pronounced dead when medics found him along Monroe Road Saturday morning. Investigators say that train operator was not impaired at the time. Anybody with more information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. A Hickory man behind bars facing child sex abuse material charges. Tony C. was indicted on federal charges. The U.S. attorney says this stems from a nationwide operation targeting suspected child predators. Gaston County leaders warning neighbors after confirming the 20th rabies case of the year there. A skunk in Bessemer City tested positive for rabies, marking the highest number of the cases so far this year in the county. Authorities say a dog exposed to the animal had an expired rabies shot, but received a booster and no humans were exposed. Officials say this is a great reminder for all of us to make sure your pets are vaccinated to protect them and also you and your family. Amid rising costs, Charlotte's animal shelter is asking where's the money and hoping the community can help during this season of giving. As we speak, there are 9 days left of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Animal Care and Control's end-of-year fundraiser called Season of Second Chances. Staff says money donated will provide things like shelter, medical care, enrichment, treats, and toys for the homeless pets there.
The campaign comes as the shelter says costs for supplies and medicine and food and just about everything else is going up.
It's really helping in so many ways pay for so many things that people probably wouldn't even realize that we need.
The shelter is setting this year's goal at $50,000. To give, visit animalcareclt.org and click donate. Make sure to include Season of Second Chances in the comment box to ensure your donation is counted towards the campaign.
Okay, are you ready? Time to wake up those brains for our Monday morning word jumble. So I brought this back over the weekend, game show time, and Julie is really good at these. She got it right away. So Julie, your mic is up.
Ooh, I don't know this one.
Anuxith.
Well, when you say Anuxith out loud like that, it does make it harder. Ben, you got anything?
Is there a clue for this?
No.
Think the season. 'Tis the season. Things might be associated. Okay.
Give us a second to think about it.
Okay.
And we'll come back after your forecast.
Okay. I'll give you a second after the forecast, see what you got. So there it is. ENUCSTTH.
I'm taking a picture of it.
Think about it. Okay, here we go. 35 degrees. Thanks a lot, Cody. Always on the ready with the music and the different sound effects. Hopefully you don't get the buzzer sound. It doesn't make you feel good. 19 degrees. It's current temperature right now around Boone. We have the 22 degree point right around Morganton, and then 33 around Monroe, 34 around Chirac. So our Dallas camera, we have some upper level clouds off in the distance, and it's a beautiful start to the day. The sun just rose up about 7 minutes ago, so we're still seeing some of those reds, pinks, and oranges. And if you look off towards the west, some thicker clouds are headed our way. We already have some upper level guys, but I think later on in the afternoon, we will start to cloud things up a little bit more. Check it out. Futurecast dragging in some cloud cover. So it could be thick. I think it's a lot of those cirrostratus clouds, and simply what that means is it might look a little bit cloudier like yesterday, but you can see the sun at times. And then there's also going to be some breaks in the clouds here and there as well. So not complete gloom and doom gray cloudiness, but overnight tonight, those clouds should be a little bit thicker, blocking a lot of that starlight. Slight chance for maybe a morning sprinkle to start off the morning tomorrow, and a reverse of today. Today starts off sunny and then we get more clouds. Tomorrow starts off cloudy and then we get more sun as we work our way through the day. The only cloudy spot that remains for your Tuesday heading into Wednesday is right here along the Tennessee border, where much of Tennessee is actually looking at cloudier forecast, still pretty mild temperatures, and we're just on the cusp of that. 55 degrees for today. That's where we should be, by the way. Our afternoon highs should be around 54 for this day in climatology. This is the only day that is quote normal. Then we are exceeding expectations, jumping to the 60s. That is still over 10 degrees above normal. That would be a standout. But now we have the lower to the mid 70s. We keep on adding degrees to these temperatures about how warm it's going to be for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, start of Kwanzaa, and for the Panthers' last home game, 70 degrees. That could be a little bit cooler because the front's going to be on the way. Coming up, I'll let you know the big changes you can expect behind that front heading into the last days of 2025. Also, shout out to Brittany. Brittany is the one that helped me find that word jumble word, and I think you picked a good one, my friend.
Well, maybe you'll figure it out later. Well, I guess if you guys can't figure it out, Chris and I can give you a hint later. But let's look at traffic right now. There is not a lot going on here across the Charlotte area. You can see I-77 here as we're getting north of Uptown is pretty calm and clear. Very, very minor issues out there right now, if any at all. In fact, the traffic we were seeing on I-85 northbound between Gaston County and Mecklenburg County has started to lessen. In fact, you can see we're back up to yellow on the screen. Still, though, of course, we'll be watching this area near Sam Wilson Road between 485 and 85, of course, that's exit 30 and 28. Right now, there's one lane blocked with a little bit of overnight construction still lingering. And then other than that, we have this crash still active here at Summit Avenue, 2nd and 4th Street. And then we're flying all the way toward the University Harrisburg area. Harris Houston Road, a crash there at Astoria Drive. But truthfully, it's not that active out there this morning. And I'm not saying that to jinx it. I'm saying that because it's the truth. Your morning drive times into Charlotte, the only slow spot we have right now still is Matthews Mint Hill into Charlotte, where it still sits at around 20 to 25 minutes.
A busy travel season means crowded curbs and new warnings about rideshare safety. The steps officials say could help keep you protected coming up ahead. It may be the most wonderful time of the year, but can it also be stressful? It can also be stressful on various levels. The holiday travel season, of course, underway, so expect to see lots of traffic, lines in between big meals, and football on TV. John Lorenk reports on the record-breaking year.
The year 2025 is ending on a historic note. AAA estimates a record-setting 122.4 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home.
You've got this 2-week period when people are coming and going during different times.
AAA says nearly 110 million will drive, just over 8 million will fly, and close to 5 million will take other forms of travel like buses or trains. For those getting behind the wheel this holiday season, a basic rule of thumb: the sooner you leave, the better.
Early mornings are the best. Those are the times that you're going to have the lighter traffic. Also, you don't have the buildup and more opportunities for there to be crashes or construction later in the day.
If you're heading to the airport, be proactive before pulling up to the front doors.
Do everything you can before you get to the airport. Reserve that parking, check into that flight, prepay for checked baggage. It's really going to save you time and heartache when you get there.
And as for those procrastinators who may still be looking for a last-minute bargain on a plane ticket,
there's always weird things going on with airfare, so you can probably find a cheap deal to fly. But is there value in that flight? Is the layover 3 times longer than it normally would be? Is it going to take you 3 times longer to get to your destination?
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
According to AAA booking data, the top 3 domestic destinations this holiday season are Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. The top 3 international spots are Cancun, Cozumel in Mexico, and Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
Drivers getting a little more relief at the pump. Gas prices continue to fall across the country, with the national average dropping 9 cents in the past 2 weeks to $2.99 a gallon. That's nearly 17 cents lower than a month ago, and the cheapest prices Americans have seen since back in April 2021. Analysts say the savings help, but demand is still weak, and prices would need to stay low for a while to change actual driving habits. Experts add that while wholesale prices suggest gas could drop even more, global oil supply concerns could still push those prices back up a bit. Right now, North Carolina has the average price of $2.64. South Carolina, it is $2.51. Airports reminding travelers to take extra precautions when using rideshare services, especially during the busy travel season. Officials say fake rideshare drivers have been reported in several cities, prompting new safety reminders at pickup areas.
The signs encourage passengers to confirm their driver by asking who they're picking up before getting in the car. They also urge travelers to double check the license plate and make sure the vehicle matches what's shown in the app. Airport staff say these simple steps can help prevent dangerous situations and keep travelers more aware of their surroundings.
Powerball players still have a chance at $1 billion holiday jackpot. No ticket match all 6 numbers in Saturday night's drawing. An estimated $1.6 billion. The next jackpot ranks as the 4th largest in the game's history and the 5th largest among all U.S. lottery jackpots. The next drawing is tonight.
All right, one last look. Our Monday morning word jumble. One of our anchors did get this. Then one last look. I'll have your answer after our break.
Welcome back. The Carolina Panthers are back in first after defeating their division rivals from Tampa Bay Sunday.
How about it? The team keeping their playoff hopes alive in front of a raucous crowd at the bank. After going down early in the second half, Bryce Young led a touchdown drive capped with dish throw to a wide open JT Sanders. The team trading punts and field goals in the fourth quarter until this kick by Ryan Fitzgerald, which pulled the Panthers ahead for good. An interception sealed the deal, though, keeping hopes alive across the Carolinas. And now the clearest path to the playoffs is to beat the Bucs again in Week 18. The quickest path is a win over the Seahawks, coupled with a Bucs loss to the Dolphins next week. Either way, we'll take it.
Well, we won't take it because I'm going to the Seahawks game next week. And sorry, Panthers fans, but I'm cheering for the Seahawks.
Controversial.
I know.
Cringe.
But the old significant other's a Seahawks fan, and we're going.
Makes
and
sense.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? The fact that we're even talking about a chance for the playoffs
Right.
It's crazy.
That's what
When was
matters.
the last time we had actually put playoffs and Panthers, I feel like, in the same sentence?
Been a hot minute.
I feel
So-
like you would know the answer to that.
Actually, it was 2050.
2015.
I thought it was like 10
Yeah,
years.
I
Yeah,
remember, yeah.
It's been a while, and that's also
It was
the last,
fun.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen again.
Well, this time we have a lot of good factors, and we're going to warm things up with our Monday morning word jumble. Did you get the word? Oh, there was a sigh, so that means one got it, one did not. All right, the victor, Ben, what is this?
So, you try to jumble together the letters that you think go together. So you're thinking ST something or TH something or CH something.
I even had
or,
a SCH at one moment.
or SN something and like nothing. And then I dawned upon CHE. I was like chestnut.
Roasting? I don't know.
Roasting.
I will say
That's a good one.
That's a heavy lift on a Monday morning at 7:50.
Hey.
Trying to get your brain moving.
Yeah,
I know it's
now-
good though. It's good. I feel better now.
Now you're ready to go, and we're going to give Julie a redemption.
I love these.
We're going to do one more. We did it over the weekend, so I thought we would start it off. So during the 8:30 half hour, we're going to do it again. We'll see.
Because you know my tricks now, because he gave us the word freezing and it had an ing, and I was like, well, there you go. And so now he's tripping me up. He's learned my ways.
And then I said, hey, Brittany, we need a 8-letter word, and she gave me a list, and this is the one that kind of fit your trickery.
Good one.
All right. The next one I think is going to be a little bit easier, but we're getting things going for your Monday morning. I'm going to jump right to the Christmas holiday just because that is the big focal point going forward for multiple reasons. But what I thought was really interesting, you can find a weather stat for any time of year, but I specifically looked at December 24th, 25th, and 26th. So the day before and after Christmas, including Christmas. What is some of the warmest stretches that we've ever had? Now, for the record high of 77, that's the warmest that Christmas has ever been. It was during that same stretch that we actually averaged almost the mid 60s, and that is factoring all our highs and lows across 3 days. So what we're going to average for an average temperature for our December 24th, 5th, and 6th is 61 degrees. That would be the second warmest 3-day stretch around Christmas that we've had in Charlotte history. That is substantial. As I just mentioned, 77 is the warmest we've ever been. So 1955 is the last time that we are this warm for Christmas and either side thereof. I have a high of 74 degrees. Brittany and I are joking about this each time because both worked over the weekend. We were adding a degree, adding another degree. Yesterday, I think I had 73. Now it's up to 74. And that would bring us in the top 3 warmest Christmases of all time. Now, what about records? Not breaking a record for Christmas or the day after, but we have a chance to tie a record on Christmas Eve and break a record on Saturday. That would be the 27th. Wow, what a stretch. It's been crazy. Actually, this would be the 3rd time over the last 11 years we've been this warm around Christmas. Okay, Brittany's turn. What's going on this morning, my friend?
Thank you. Finally. Kidding. Right now, traffic really doesn't look too bad here. You can see this is I-77 mile marker 10, so it's north and southbound just near Uptown. Really not seeing a lot of substantial traffic out there right now. I did try to find a camera that was showing some of these minor slowdowns now. Our maps are showing on 77, but really I don't see anything this crazy, so take it with a grain of salt. Right now, though, our maps at least showing, of course, this all comes from satellite data, slowdowns basically from Uptown down toward Woodlawn, so that's between mile marker 11 all the way down to 6. Otherwise, not a lot of traffic crashes that would cause any major problems, but I do see a little additional, of course, slowdowns there on 85, your normal slow spots, as well as 45 there down to the Providence area. So again, that's kind of your normal slow spots. Let's talk positives. When's your best time to get out if you are traveling on the roadways today? Well, today and tomorrow, both before 10 a.m. is your best bet. And of course, Wednesday and Thursday, with it being Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, AAA does not expect there to be substantial traffic.
And Ginger the elf is back, but let's just say she's got a case of the Mondays and is catching a few extra Z's before the final push into Christmas, complete with the cucumbers on her eyes. Ginger will be joining us every morning on WCNC Charlotte, spreading holiday cheer and mischief all the way up to Christmas. And check this out. We've gotten a chance to meet all of Ginger's friends out there, so keep these pictures coming because we want to see what your elves are up to. You can send them right to this number on your screen.
And folks, we've got all the local Christmas content you could possibly ever want right here on WCNC Plus. Every day leading up to Christmas at 9:30, we're going to be streaming these Christmas parades around the Piedmont on WCNC Plus. And perhaps in case you missed some of your town. Now, a keen-eyed viewer in Mooresville pointed out, Mooresville's Christmas parade is not on the 22nd. No, these are when these are airing. These parades have already happened, but a lot of times maybe you're busy wrapping gifts, taking the kids around. So these are re-airing. These are when these will re-air. So fair question. Glad you pointed that out. And that's not all. We also got Santa Tracker, and yes, there's more, a Yule log. All right, live pictures right now over Lee's McRae College up in Banner. I'll keep it right here on WCNC Plus.
Good morning, everybody. Temperatures now starting to warm up. We're up to 37 degrees around Charlotte, 29 for you in Hickory, 24 in Salisbury. Just letting you know, this will be the coldest morning that we have over the next 7 days. And then by early next week, we'll be back in this range even colder. So enjoy the warm up on the way. We have 55 degrees for a high right around Charlotte, 57 around Lancaster, and then 52 over in the Hickory area. And we are going to increase the cloud cover later on this afternoon. That's the only change that I really see in the horizon. And then overnight tonight, it will be cloudier, and then we even increase the winds for tomorrow, where tomorrow we start our warm-up. We're back into the 60s, and then we start a run of the 70s, Christmas Eve through Christmas, heading into the last weekend of 2025. Let's see how our morning commute is looking with Brittany Van Voorhees. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Really not too bad out there. We have some slowdowns showing up on our maps there. 77 southbound there, heading out of uptown Charlotte down toward Remount Road and kind of tapering off there as you get past Clanton. Otherwise, not creating any major issues there on the roadways, but we do have some good and bad Christmas travel times for you today. Now, the good news is that today and tomorrow are probably your lesser impacted days, but AAA is saying best time to travel is before 10 a.m. both Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday, though, minimal traffic expected.
streaming live right now at 8 a.m. right here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Julie Kay, and for Lisa Washington.
This morning, we are learning more about that deadly plane crash that claimed the lives of 7 people, including NASCAR legend Greg Biffle. Right now, the plane's cockpit voice recorder is headed to the National Transportation Safety Board's headquarters to be examined. According to the agency's latest briefing over the weekend, their main focus is to figure out why that jet returned to Statesville Regional Airport shortly after takeoff. Officials say while the plane was stable on approach, it was coming in too low. Investigators noted that they're not aware of any mayday calls from the aircraft, but they did confirm somebody sent a text message saying emergency landing just before the plane went down. And as remembrance and reflection continue following the plane crash, we're learning more about the legacy Greg Biffle is leaving behind off the track. WCNC Charles Richard Devane joins us now live from Mooresville on the NASCAR veteran's impact at the Carolinas through his service and his compassion. Richard.
Yeah, good morning to you, Ben. Good morning, Julie. We can tell you on this Monday that a lot of folks here in Mooresville know how much Greg Biffle meant to this area through his works and his efforts fighting for folks taking supplies to those in need after Helene. And right here in Mooresville, just up the block, there's a Humane Society that shelters animals. He was instrumental in helping that effort as well. As we look at video, we can tell you this is just part of the legacy that he and his wife, Christina, left behind. Biffle and his wife were active leaders in the Lake Norman Humane. It's a nonprofit animal shelter here in Mooresville. The couple served together on its board of directors. They helped build the shelter's mission to care for and rehome animals that were in need. Now, their roles included a number of things: fundraising, advocacy, and of course, using their public platform to raise awareness for animals' welfare. Local rescuers we spoke with say that Biffle's helped shape the Lake Norman Humane from its early days. They also left a lasting impact on the community's animals and the volunteers who worked at that shelter. In statements following the crash, their organization described their deaths as devastating loss for both the Lake Norman region as well as the animals that they championed.
Disbelief, numbness, and then you turn to sadness and still disbelief. Such a huge loss, And Christina, my goodness, she was just something. She was a force to be reckoned with. They're going to be truly missed by many, and especially all of us at Lake Norman Humane.
And throughout this area, there are other stories. As you go online, you see so many people pouring in words of praise, not just for his efforts on the track, but that second chapter of his life, the chapter that was dedicated to taking care of those folks in need without making much fanfare about it. We're right here in Mooresville. Richard Devane, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Richard. Happening today, this woman is set to face a judge in connection to the death of a child in East Charlotte. According to records, Susan Robinson faces several child abuse charges after a 6-year-old girl was found dead last Tuesday at a home on Gwynn Hill Road. The documents claim the child had broken bones, several rashes, scars, and burns on her body. This morning, we're following a number of developing stories from the weekend. First, one person is recovering after being assaulted on a Cats bus Saturday night. Medic tells us it happened on North Sharon Amity Road in East Charlotte. No word yet on what led up to the incident or if an arrest has been made. It comes as safety on public transit is a growing concern in Charlotte, with 2 stabbings on the light rail in recent months. City leaders say making transit safe is their #1 priority in the new year. CMPD also investigating after a man was hit and killed on the John Belk Freeway near Uptown. You can see here. Officers say Waymond Cruz was walking in the middle of the road Saturday near Kenilworth Avenue when he was struck. Investigators say the driver was not impaired, and so no charges have been filed.
All right, look at this. Our Lylesville camera looking gorgeous. Lots of sunshine to enjoy. And as we continue throughout the day, some upper level clouds will continue to join with us. But all in all, sunshine winning out for a majority of the day. Enjoy it. Meanwhile, you go on top of here, they're actively making snow here on Beach Mountain because temperatures are ideal. As we continue through the week, we get warmer and warmer and warmer, and then it's less favorable, or you don't even have freezing temperatures to make the snow. So that's why they're active here to keep some fresh powder on top of the mountain. Look at that beautiful sun now starting to rise above the buildings over here in Banner Elk. Temperatures right now 19 degrees in Boone, 23 for you in Morganton, and 34 right around the Monroe area. Here's a beautiful sunny sky to a mostly sunny one over in Rock Hill happening right now. Your high temperature, by the way, in York County, 55. Same temperature as the Charlotte area and mid to the upper 50s. Further south you go, you're stuck in the 40s up in the mountains. Here's today. We start to see more clouds really start to greet our horizon by the mid to late morning, or afternoon, excuse me. Morning is going to be clear. And then by tomorrow morning, we're still going to have some lingering clouds. I am seeing a little bit of rain. I think we're way too dry for this to really even matter, but I will keep a barely sprinkle in the forecast heading into your Tuesday morning. Then those clouds start to clear out and we'll have more sunshine return. Now, the biggest thing about tomorrow, winds barely blowing today, less than 10 miles per hour. Winds sustained at 10 to 15 plus with gust over 25. Now, this is an aggressive example that we're seeing, but I think mainly we're going to be gusting around 20 to even 30 miles per hour on and off throughout the afternoon. So it will be a breezy one, which is going to drive in some warmer air. More sunshine to end the day. High temperatures in the lower to the mid 60s. That's about 10 degrees above normal, but what if I say we're going to be about 20 degrees above the average, where our average high is soon going to fall to 53. And then for Wednesday, that's Christmas Eve. Thursday, that's Christmas Day. And then Friday, that's the start of Kwanzaa. Everything is in the lower to the mid 70s, either at a record or just below. Wow. 77 is the warmest Christmas we ever had. That was back in 1955. But 74, it's happened about 11 years ago, is the second warmest, and that's exactly where we're going to be. So as I mentioned, this is going to be the coolest morning, coolest day that we have over the next 7. Temperatures are going to take a tumble after this. Back up to the mid 70s on Saturday, and then Sunday's kind of the transition day. This is the one day that could change the most, not only because it's 7 days out, but a front is on the way. All that front needs to do is just speed up slightly, and it's going to change whatever Sunday's forecast is. But regardless, we're looking at a big time cool down. Look at those highs, likely in the 40s and lows falling to the 20s to start off next week and to end 2025. There it is. That's your 10-day forecast. Let's see what's happening right now on our morning commute. Brittany, what's going on?
Good morning, Chris. Well, I definitely always don't want to jinx it when it comes to the traffic, but things are actually looking pretty good. 77 northbound. You can see that's on the center and left portion of your screen. However, southbound starting to see these delays that we were alluding to just a little bit ago. This is near mile marker 5. So this is near Tyvola. Again, that's southbound that looks so dense there, right, with the traffic. At least it's still moving at this hour, but you can actually see that here being picked up on our maps. 2 additional crashes here, not on 77 though, and not impacting traffic out there right now. This is just your classic slowdown, a little bit of onlooking delays as well. I think today, with it being another big Christmas travel time, it's important to note the best times to travel. Both today and tomorrow, AAA's expectations before 10 a.m. is going to be best for you. But if you are traveling across the Carolinas, maybe driving Wednesday or Thursday, maybe not ideal, right, to be driving on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but traffic forecast to be very minimal.
As we had a break now, here is an exclusive shopping deal for our viewers.
Hey, our team tests products all day long. It's literally all we do. We bring you the best deals, and we've come through for you today with this range of products from Frigidaire. We'll get to these bad boys in just a second, but I want to start with the ice makers. In our test, the best ice makers on the market. I want to start with this one. This one's really my favorite. It's the Frigidaire Nugget Ice Maker. This thing makes 33 pounds of ice a day, and you can see this is the good ice. I'm a lefty. This is always so awkward. This is the good stuff, the good ice. And here's the thing about my ice maker at home. It takes forever to start making ice. This one starts making ice within 10 minutes. How cool is that? Maybe you want this one though, a little smaller. This makes 26 pounds of ice a day, enough to fill a water cooler. This is the Frigidaire Compact Countertop Ice Maker, and you can see it makes the larger cubes of ice like this. But what I like about this is you can also choose small or large cubes right there on top. These retail for $146 for you today, up to 39% off. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. Now I want to talk about these. These are the Frigidaire 6-can retro mini fridges. I love this black. Isn't that cool? Range of colors. Come on in here. You can see the 6 cans, cold to the touch. Great for travel too. These plug into your car. You can use them for skincare products, medicine, anything you want. They retail for $38. 21% off for you today. Scan the QR code on your screen or go to shoptvdeals.com.
8:12 right now on WCNC Plus, and today we are hearing from some of Jeffrey Epstein's survivors and their families who say even with the release of some of those files on Friday, their fight is far from over.
NBC's Hallie Jackson has their stories as the truth unfolds.
For some survivors and their families, weeks after Congress forced the turnover of DOJ documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, that triumph tempered now with skepticism and disappointment.
I would say it's a mixed bag of emotions right now.
Sky Roberts is the brother of Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of Epstein's most prominent accusers. She died by suicide in April.
How do you think your sister would see this moment?
She'd be really proud of her survivor sisters, but she'd also know, she would know, there's so much more to go.
The DOJ acknowledging it's released only some of the Epstein documents in its possession, saying it's reviewing material to protect victims. But one survivors advocacy group today calling the limited release a step backward for transparency and accountability.
I feel like they're still trying to hide something.
Among the documents that have emerged, this FBI report dated September 1996, detailing a complaint about child pornography.
Did you know immediately when you saw that document, Annie, what it was?
Yes, it was very clear.
Annie Farmer's sister, Maria, filed that never-before-seen complaint, which says Epstein stole underage photos of her sisters, then threatened to burn her house down if she told anyone.
I was with my sister, so I ran down the hall to find her, and we just embraced and cried together to finally have it at least, confirmed that she had been telling the truth, that she had reported these criminals. I think that was a tremendous amount of relief. But also it just highlighted the sadness about the fact that this was not able to be stopped. Just seeing it in black and white made me feel a little sick, too, to think about how differently it could have unfolded.
For Farmer and others, still many questions left.
I think that piece of paper highlights the fact that there were huge mistakes made by the government. What we don't know is why. And I think that's what we deserve answers to. Why was more not done?
I think we still have a big fight ahead of us. We understand that, and we won't stop. We won't stop until true justice is actually served.
That was Hallie Jackson reporting. A federal judge has overturned the conviction of one of the two men found guilty of murdering rap icon Jam Master Jay of Run DMC. Carl Jordan Jr. was convicted last year of killing the DJ, whose real name is Jason Mizzle, in 2002. Prosecutors alleged Jordan was angry that Mizzle had cut him out of a drug deal. But in her ruling, the judge wrote the government failed to prove Jordan was motivated by drugs. Prosecutors say they are reviewing the decision. A second man, Ronald Washington, was also convicted after the judge ruled the government had proven its case against him in court. A third suspect, Jay Bryant, is set to go on trial next year. He's pleaded not guilty.
Actor James Ransone has died. The LA County Medical Examiner says Ransone died Friday in an apparent suicide. The 46-year-old, best known for his roles in the HBO series The Wire and the movie It, Chapter 2. Ransone's career began more than 20 years ago when he starred in the teen series Ken Park. He made other TV and movie appearances over the years. On Sunday, HBO shared a tribute to Ransone on social media. Folks, keep in mind, if you or somebody you know is struggling with mental health, you can call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That number is 988. All right, 8:16 right now on WCNC Plus. A sweet holiday tradition taking over kitchens everywhere today. Stick around to see why people are swapping some of their favorite treats.
Well, check it out, everyone. So I want to show you our 10-day forecast, but it has a different spin on it. So what this is, I have the temperature ranges of what each month typically feels like. Like, for instance, in October, we averaged 78 to 68 degrees. Look where we're going to be. From Wednesday, and that's Christmas Eve, all the way through the weekend, we're still feeling more like mid to late October. That is bananas. That's crazy. Meanwhile, just in time to end the year, we have a mix of the 40s for the last days. Eventually, we're back to where we should be for January 1st. So yeah, we're going to range from November, October, and then all of a sudden we immediately tank back to January status just in time to transition over the new year. So I wanted to show you that just because it really is going to be a shock and awe to the system. Our low temperatures are also going to be on the rise, of course, as those high temperatures are as well. So that means we're going to be starting off in the lower to the mid 50s on your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On Saturday, by the way, 55 degrees for a low. That is technically warmer than what we would have for a typical high for that day in climatology. But what goes up must come down. It does look like we're going to have a strong cold front that's going to strip temperatures back down below freezing, back into the 20s. Not the teens, so not the coldest of the year that we've seen so far. As far as our rain chances go, we really don't have much going on. There is a little chance for maybe a sprinkle for your Tuesday, but that front could bring some rain on Sunday heading into Monday, so just keep that in mind, especially if you're going to be doing any holiday travel. So how that looks on our 7-day forecast, show you a little bit more information about all the above. We are trending in the lower to the mid 70s. That is great to see. The last home game, I know Brittany's going to that, versus the Seahawks, is going to be a good one. I think you have more clouds regardless. That's the only day that we could bring temperatures down a little bit because, as I mentioned, there is going to be that big drop. But again, we should not be in the 70s for this time of year. But Brittany, as we know, climate is changing. This is becoming more and more common than we like to admit.
Yeah, and the frequent big drops, big changes, because we go from mid 70s for Christmas Day all the way down to the mid 40s.
Oh man, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna, indeed. All right, how's the morning commute looking?
So far, so good. In fact, we're really not seeing a lot of significant slowdowns. A new area just to watch here over the next hour or so. This is I-77 southbound here. This is near Woodlawn, Billy Graham, of course. That's exit 6A and 6B if you're familiar with these areas. Again, the traffic is still moving, but it is much slower than it was a little bit ago. Zooming in here, you can kind of see that stop and go traffic all the way up and down. Thankfully, things get better as you get closer to Uptown or closer to the border there between North and South Carolina. So it's really centered just in that area. So that'll be Billy Graham, Woodlawn, including Clanton, and a little bit further south there on Tybola as well. Morning drive times are really not too bad. If you're heading into the Charlotte area, let's say you're still working today, of course we all are. Matthews, Mint Hill areas are the only slow spots we have out there right now at about 20 to 25 minutes. Otherwise, everywhere else is currently on time.
Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle. Time for today's Carolina Trivia. And today's trivia is all about sloths. Not this one that's about 2.5 feet long, weighs around 17 pounds. We're talking about the giant sloth that was found right here in North Carolina. The giant ground sloth, an Ice Age herbivore found in North Carolina, up to 20 feet long, weighed about 3 tons, died out about 10,000 years ago. Fossils were actually unearthed in 1991 near Wilmington, North Carolina. In fact, you can see those fossils put together at the Cape Fear Museum in Wilmington. That is the giant ground sloth. There are the fossils right there that you can see once again at the Cape Fear Museum. Today's Carolina Trivia, all about the giant ground sloth that was found right here in North Carolina. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
And here's another excuse to indulge this holiday season. Today is National Cookie Exchange Day.
That's evidently when a person in a group bakes their own version of goodies. Then they exchange the cookies to try the different kinds to see what they like. The hardest part is just choosing which cookies to bring. You can stick with winter favorites like those thumbprint ones or gingerbread. But since this day celebrates all cookies, you can mix it up. Well, I feel embarrassed.
We didn't do anything. We should have brought some.
I know. Little did I know.
Yeah, we should have been baking at 2 a.m.
Right?
Oh, it got to be fresh, so you got to wake up early to do it.
Buy them the day before.
Had we known?
Ben has brought in cookies before. I remember.
I have.
What's the thumbprint ones?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I think thumbprint, and then a lot of times you put like the Hershey Kiss in it.
Oh, those I know.
I frankly think they're overrated.
Really? I think you're mainly eating the Hershey Kiss, let's be honest.
Well, what kind do you bring when you bring cookies?
When it comes to Christmas cookies, I'm not a huge fan of even sugar cookies. Like,
I'm a chocolate chip gal, so
Yeah, I like that. Or
I will eat anything you put in front of me, to be honest.
I don't know. I like cookies though. I know that much.
And I feel the more decorated they are, the worse they taste.
Because they're masking the lack of flavor and the dryness.
They're distracting you.
They taste like cardboard, but they've got good icing.
Yeah, I know.
They're pretty,
It
though.
looks beautiful, but it's a piece of sheetrock.
That's right.
I wonder if the ones that people like, the little shapes ones, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like where they like for Halloween, it's a pumpkin.
Oh, like it's like a little circle,
Yeah.
but it's got a little
It's
design on it.
those are great, but you know they sell out like crazy, like immediately. There's never enough.
We need those.
Never enough.
I feel like you looked at me.
I have
like you
no
didn't
idea
know
what I'm talking about. But
You're like, yes.
no idea
Well,
what
we
you're
would
talking
bring
about.
some, but they're probably sold out already.
My
So.
favorite. Yeah, no. As soon as they're released, they're like out.
Gone.
Next year,
All right.
Next
I don't,
year, we got to
I'll
remember the
find a
date.
picture to show
the
you.
22nd of next year. All right.
I can't guarantee that I'll be here. If I'm being honest.
It's been over a year since you've been on the morning show last
That's
anyway.
right.
So.
It's true.
And it's great
I
to
might
have
be
you.
sleeping.
All right, live pictures right now. Which interstate is this? Any idea?
That's I-77 north and southbound. Southbound is on the center part of the screen.
Oh.
So that's the slow spot, southbound.
Well, if you need more of that sort of expertise from Brittany, stand by.
Nice.
More coming up right here on WCNC Plus.
It is so good to see you this morning. 19 degrees right now in Boone. It is 37 for you in Charlotte. This is the time that our temperatures are going to start to swing upwards. We have a sunny to a mostly sunny start to the day, but we will pick up more clouds through the afternoon. So a cloudier end of the day. By the way, 55 is our high today. 54 is where we should be. So this is what a normal December 22nd looks like. Now, what's not normal is where we're going. For one, clouds lingering tonight are going to keep us milder, not as close to freezing, 40 degrees to start off your Tuesday. Tomorrow, highs in the mid-60s, about 10 degrees above normal. And for your Wednesday, the lower to the mid-70s. And we're going to be holding those temperatures through your Christmas holiday, through the last weekend of 2025. Craziness. All right, Brittany, your turn. What's going on for your morning commute?
Really not a lot, Chris. Right now we are still seeing those slowdowns there, I-77 north and southbound. This is near Billy Graham Parkway and Woodlawn. So if you notice the exit number, that's right between Clanton and those main exits there at Woodlawn. Really dense traffic. You can see there all throughout our map area. But if we take a wider view, you can see it gets better as you go up toward Uptown and a little bit better as well as you go south there, closer to the South Carolina border. So let's talk morning drive times into Charlotte. If you're still working today, as all of us are, about 20 to 25 minutes from Matthews Mint Hill.
Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8:30. I'm Julie Kay, in for Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. This morning, we're continuing to get a closer look at the NTSB's investigation into the crash that killed NASCAR legend Greg Biffle and 6 others.
Here are some of the key takeaways from the latest NTSB briefing this weekend. The agency says it primarily wants to figure out why the business jet tried to return to the Statesville Regional Airport just shortly after takeoff Thursday. It says the plane was stable on approach but was coming in too low. Officials also tell us they're not aware of any Mayday calls from the aircraft, but did confirm someone sent a text saying emergency landing before the plane went down. The NTSB examined both of the plane's engines. The plane's cockpit voice recorder is also set to be examined in Washington. The agency's preliminary report is expected within 30 days.
Well, communities across the state of North Carolina continue to reflect on how Biffle's charitable work impacted so many lives.
Elijah Skipper spoke to people in Asheville impacted by his kindness in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
Here at Celebrity Hot Dogs in Asheville, Greg Biffle isn't being remembered just for what he did on the track, but for how he showed up for Western North Carolina during Helene. Former NASCAR driver and owner of Celebrity Hot Dogs, Robert Presley, says he remembers Greg Biffle most for his relief efforts during Helene. Presley says Biffle volunteered his own helicopter, flying missions into isolated mountain communities where roads were washed out or blocked. According to Presley, those flights included delivering medicine, supplies, and helping get people to safety. Presley says Biffle routinely landed in difficult and dangerous conditions to reach people who needed immediate help, actions he believes directly saved lives during the storm's aftermath.
I think that's what we're going to remember him of. He put himself in some bad position, worse than what he did racing, running 200 miles an hour. He landed his helicopter in places that I don't think you should be trying to do, but expertise he put them in there, he saved some lives, he made sure people were safe.
Those who know Biffle say that the best way to honor his legacy is to show up for others the way he did and always pay it forward.
Today, we remember CMPD officer Mia Goodwin, who was killed in the line of duty 4 years ago. Officer Goodwin was directing traffic on I-85 after a tractor-trailer crash when a second crash struck her and several patrol cars. Officer Goodwin served with CMPD for 6 years in the University City Division. The department sharing a tribute on social media this morning saying, quote, "Her courage and dedication continue to inspire, and her sacrifice will never be forgotten."
Now to a tragic update in East Charlotte. CMPD says a teenager is dead nearly a month after she was hit by a car. 15-year-old Amber Paris died Friday. According to police documents, on November 24th, Julio Zocop Vincente was speeding on Driftwood Drive and hit Paris while she was on an electric bike. She had severe injuries and was placed in a medically induced coma until her death. Police say that suspect was arrested back on November 5th and admitted to hitting the teen. He's now charged with felony hit and run. This morning, police believe a man hit and killed by a CSX train was lying on the track when it happened. Daniel Cotterman was pronounced dead when medics found him along Monroe Road Saturday morning. Investigators say the train operator was not impaired. If you have any information in the case, you're asked to contact Crime Stoppers. A Hickory man now behind bars facing child sex abuse material charges. Tony C. was indicted on federal charges. The U.S. Attorney says this all stems from a nationwide operation targeting suspected child predators. Gaston County leaders warning neighbors after confirming the 20th rabies case of the year. A skunk in Bessemer City tested positive for rabies, marking the highest number of cases in the county so far. Authorities say a dog exposed to the animal had expired rabies shot but received a booster and no humans were exposed. Officials are urging pet owners to make sure vaccinations are up to date to protect both your animal and yourself and your family.
Amid rising costs, Charlotte's animal shelter is asking where's the money and hoping the community can help during this season of giving.
As we speak, there are just 9 days left in Charlotte-Mecklenburg Animal Care and Control's end-of-year fundraiser called Season of Second Chances. Staff says money donated will help provide shelter medical care, enrichment toys and treats as well for some of the pets there. The campaign comes as the shelter says costs for all those supplies, all that medicine, all that food just keeps going up.
It's really helping in so many ways pay for so many things that people probably wouldn't even realize that we need.
The shelter is setting this year's goal at $50,000. To give, visit animalcareclt.org and click donate. Make sure to include Season of Second Chances in the comment box to ensure your donation is counted towards this campaign.
All right, here we go. Redemption time, redemption song. Monday morning word jumble. So before we did one at 7:30 and the answer was chestnut. So this is still holiday themed. I'm going to direct it to my anchors, specifically Julie, because we started doing this over the weekend.
I think I got
the answer?
Yes. Do you want me to say it now?
I want you, give people like 5 seconds to try to process it. 5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. What's the answer?
Is it ornament?
Boom! It is ornament. Good job.
Thank God, because that was so embarrassing. I asked you for one and I didn't even get it last time.
Look, you have not missed your touch.
Thank you. We're back. We're back.
Now, well, the main thing is, so we did this on Saturday. Julie told me all of her tricks, so I tried to find the word that would go around her tricks. So that was also evil on me. But good job, ornament. You got it.
Woo.
So the other one was mean. This one, if you got it, congratulations. You and Julie have just gotten 1 golden life point. Spend it wisely. And hopefully the ornaments are already all hung up for you. And hopefully the tree is looking gorgeous. But if you look out the window, not going to see any snow. You're going to be seeing sunshine mixing with some clouds and some warmer temperatures. The warmest we've ever been on Christmas Day in Charlotte history, and that dates back all the way to 17, what happened there? 1878 was 77. That was back in 1955. And 2015 was the last time we were this warm. We are forecasting a high of 74. But is this record breaking? Well, it's near a record or will break a record going forward. We really have the lower to the mid 70s. So the actual highs, what I should say, on Wednesday, 73. That looks like it could match what we had in 2015 for Christmas Eve. Not going to break the record for Christmas Day, but honestly, it keeps on getting warmer and warmer. I think on Friday I was calling for 70, and I've added a degree each day over the weekend. And then 71 for Friday. I think we're going to be either side of this mark, and then we'll have one more surge back to the mid 70s on Saturday. Saturday right now is the best chance to break a record, and then Wednesday is going to be very close as well. Well, why is all this happening? Well, for one, we're seeing a high pressure system leave us, and that's going to allow for some clouds to pass through, and it gets cloudier by the end of today, overnight, and before it starts to clear out, and then a front is going to settle in. Now, typically when you have a cold front, you're going to cool things down, but what happens is it kind of just touches the Charlotte area on Wednesday morning, and now it's going to lift to the north. Meanwhile, underneath all of this is warmer air, and that warm air is going to get pumped in. Stronger winds out of the southwest. We already have that by tomorrow, and that's why we're going to see such an epic warm-up. So for today, your December 22nd, this will be cool compared to any other day that we have over the next 7, but just note, by next Monday, we are going to be back into the 50s, even the 40s. So if you go in the McAdenville Lights, still maybe checking this off your holiday list for this season. It's going to be a decent walk around, however, definitely the hot chocolate needed because you're starting to see your breath already by about 7 o'clock. So just dress accordingly. Make sure to enjoy yourself as well. As far as any upcoming rain chances, don't worry about it. There is a slight chance for a sprinkle on Tuesday. I think the best chance by far is maybe going to be Sunday night heading into Sunday morning, but all in all, barely a rain chance over the next 7 days, which is great for holiday travel. Speaking of, let's see how travel is going to start your morning. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning. Things are not looking too bad out there right now, Chris. Northbound actually looks a lot better than southbound. You can see that at the right hand of your screen. I traveled us a little bit further south, so this is closer to the Tybola exit. You can see it's pretty slow there, just trying to get off of the ramp onto the interstate, so be mindful of that. A lot of red in this area, but other than that, the interstate doesn't look too bad. Things get better as you get toward Uptown and also get better as you get toward South Carolina right there near Carowinds Boulevard. One additional crash just occurred here, 77 southbound there at Highway 161 there down near the Fort Mill area. Looks like the crash itself is already cleared, but there are some minor slowdowns. That one didn't last too long, so that's good news that it was cleared pretty quickly. Remember that the roadways are going to be big issues for you if you are traveling over the next 2 days there. In fact, over 100 million people are expected to travel there on the roadways, some kind of auto travel over the next few days. And remember that the Christmas holiday season, I know Thanksgiving just happened, but it is forecast to have 41 million people more than the holiday that happened just a month or so ago. So when you see these numbers, just be mindful of the fact that we are higher across the board.
Thanks, Brittany. Doctors are sounding the alarm as flu cases surge nationwide. The toll is already turning deadly. Stay with us. There's a growing warning about just how quickly this season is escalating after the break.
.42 right now on WCNC Plus. Doctors warning folks about surging cases of the flu. At least 1,900 people have died from the flu nationwide so far this season, including 3 kids. Jen Sullivan reports on the growing warning from doctors.
At the DC Public Health Lab, doctors are busy testing diseases that could become a public health concern.
The really only time that people see us is when there's a public health emergency.
Dr. Jocelyn Hauser is the director. She says doctors' offices and hospitals around the country send them swabs collected from patients.
We receive those samples and log them into our information system.
Those results are then sent to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This year, the CDC is particularly concerned about growing cases of influenza. The latest data released Friday shows there have been at least 4.6 million flu cases so far this season, 49,000 hospitalizations, and 1,900 deaths in the U.S. alone. The dominant strain causing the surge in illnesses is subclade K, a mutation of influenza A.
We think that this clade K virus is evading population immunity, meaning more people are susceptible to infection.
While doctors and the CDC say the best protection is to get the flu vaccine, Johns Hopkins University professor Andrew Pekosh says this year the shot may not be enough.
It has mutations that may allow it to evade some, but not all, of the influenza vaccine-induced protection.
As millions of people prepare to travel and gather this week for the holidays, there's growing concern illnesses may spike, and cases are surging around the globe. Children, adults 65 and older, and those with underlying medical conditions are particularly vulnerable to the flu. Medical experts are urging everyone 6 months and older to get the flu vaccine. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
The mental health of many Americans continues to be a major challenge. The new West Health Gallup poll shows people's views of their own mental health are slipping, with adults rating their mental health as excellent dropping below 30% for the first time, a 13% decline over 6 years. Between 2001 and 2019, about 42% of Americans said their mental health was excellent, but that fell to 34% in 2020, just months into the pandemic. That downward trend has continued ever since. A new clinical trial at Vanderbilt University is offering hope to families dealing with Prader-Willi syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that causes constant, uncontrollable hunger. The condition affects about 15,000 Americans, including children who are diagnosed as infants and often require families to lock up all food in the home. Vanderbilt researchers are now testing a new drug in a trial called HERO, and early results look promising. They hope it could help people with Prader-Willi syndrome gain more independence and reduce the dangerous drive to eat.
Dispensaries say the federal reclassification of cannabis could eventually mean cheaper prices for customers. President Trump signed an executive order last week shifting marijuana from what's considered a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3, a move industry leaders have been pushing for quite some time. They say it could open the door to more research, lower taxes, and allow cannabis businesses to operate more like traditional companies. Leaders in Washington seem to be split, though, on that decision.
The move away from the failed war on drugs, which includes a failed war on marijuana.
I think it's a dangerous drugs, and I'm not so sure that's a good decision, but we'll see how it plays out.
The order does not make cannabis legal nationwide, but would put it in the same class of drugs as, say, Tylenol with codeine, ketamine, and testosterone.
Welcome back. The Carolina Panthers are back in first after defeating their division rivals from Tampa Bay Sunday.
How about that? The team keeping their playoff hopes alive in front of a raucous crowd there at the bank. After going down early in the second half, Bryce Young led a touchdown drive, capped with his throw to a wide open JT Sanders. The two teams trading punts and a field goal in the fourth quarter until this kick by Ryan Fitzgerald, which pulled the Panthers ahead for good. An interception sealed the deal, keeping hopes alive across the Carolinas. So, going forward, the clearest path to playoffs is to beat the Bucs again in Week 18. The quickest path is a win over the Seahawks, coupled with a Bucs loss to the Dolphins next week. So either way, the quickest or the easiest.
But two options. There's
options.
two ways.
I like it. I like options.
I know there's always a chance, but really they're in the driver's seat now. So that's the good news. But the Seahawks are also number 1 in the NFC. So this is going to be a really tough path. And then after that, it's pretty much a playoff game down in Tampa.
I mean, I think you called it early in the season.
I did.
I mean, I will say.
I didn't call it. The Cosmos did with the losing record Ohio State and Jennifer Lopez.
I always forget about that last one. It really is.
Thank you, J-Lo, for getting another divorce.
Thank you.
Yes. Hopefully this is your last one. Wish you happiness. But if that scenario sets up, let's go Panthers.
Here we are.
How about that?
Those are the only 2 times, but if you don't know that, that was the scenario the last 2 times that the Panthers went to the Super Bowl.
Well, you should say usually his forecasts are much more scientific.
Yes.
Than that.
But not
still,
my sportscasts.
But there you go.
The facts don't lie, Ben.
That's right. They speak for themselves.
All lines up.
All right.
I think I'm supposed to do weather now.
I think you are.
I guess so.
Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was a beautiful shot. This happens. Sometimes the cameras like to freeze, but hey, it is freezing up there, so it is appropriate. We're dealing with temperatures that are in the teens, going on to the lower 20s. I was trying to see if I would get this going because it was a beautiful shot. Let's try it one more time. Ah, there it is. Look at that. So what I'm focusing in on here is that they're actively making snow because they need to, because going forward soon we're going to have some much warmer temperatures that are not ideal for making snow. So this is why they're going to be working overtime, trying to get that active if anyone is trying to go skiing right before Christmas. So let me show you our 3-day mountain forecast. We're going to have temperatures in the 40s for today, even 60 degrees on Wednesday. Yeah, you will have some chillier lows going forward. Tomorrow morning, right around Boone, 32 degrees. But then after that, you have temperatures in the 40s, even on the mountaintops, slightly above freezing. So not a good situation there. So that's why they're working overtime to do that. Current temperatures right now close to the Charlotte area. We will start to see an updated temperature here in the next few minutes going on to the 9 o'clock hour. 22 now in Boone, 29 around Hickory. And you're also seeing what the day is going to look like a little bit later on. See these upper level clouds? These will be over Charlotte heading into the afternoon. So still a brighter day. We're just dealing with more clouds. So keep that in mind. More clouds to end the day. High temperatures in the mid 50s, which by the way, 54 is where we should be for this time of year. Because the cloud cover is sticking around, we're only falling down into the lower 40s to barely the upper 30s for some of us. It's kicking off your Tuesday, and with the shift of winds out of the southwest, we're back into the lower 60s. So that is sensational. I love where our forecast is trending. Our long range trend is on the warmer side. 73 for Christmas Eve. Near record-breaking Christmas Day. Now the warmest day we've been is 77. This will be number 2. That's still amazing. And then Sunday is the transitional day where we're talking about the Panthers. That is the last home game, but that could be a little bit cooler. It just all depends on that front. If that front speeds up even 1 mile per hour now, it'll arrive more on Sunday compared to Sunday night into Monday. We'll keep you updated. Regardless, take advantage of the warmer days because guess what? That cold, chilly air is returning. Lows in the 20s, highs in the 40s come Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. That's also the last days of the year. Crazy. All right, Brittany, how's our morning commute looking so far?
Well, things are definitely getting more aggressive, I will say, on the roadways in terms of traffic. Not the drivers, just the fact that the traffic is getting more dense. On the right side of your screen here, again, you can see 77 north and southbound. This is our most congested area right now. It's between Nations Ford Road all the way up there toward Clanton. So again, it's southbound. If you're heading into South Carolina, you can see how dense that traffic is right now. Taking a wider view, you can see things do improve as you get closer to Uptown or closer to South Carolina's border. New crash reported just about 5 minutes or so ago. This is up toward the Mooresville area. So in Iredell County, this is right around mile marker 42. There is one lane that's closed in this area, and you can see traffic is continuing to dense up there. So just be mindful. Again, that's also 77 southbound. So northbound, all up and down. Looks pretty good right now.
That time of the morning, time to check in with Ginger, our elf on the shelf. And you know what? It's just the last few days left of Ginger before she returns to the North Pole. And so she is resting up on this Monday, taking a big rest before the last few days of busy season for her. You know, different jobs like accountant stuff have busy season. This is her busy season. She's got to rest
up while you can.
She's got to rest up while she can. Let's take a look at what some of your elves are doing as well, making snow angels, having a big old time. Nice little campfire. They go all out, don't they, these elves? We love them.
Very impressive.
Only got a couple of days left with them. Text us 704-329-3600 to see what your elves are up to. And if that's not enough Christmas content for you, hey, folks, every day leading up to Christmas, 9:30, we're streaming Christmas parades around the Piedmont on WCNC+. Here are the parades, here are the dates. These are when we are re-airing some of these parades. And that's not all. We also got Santa Tracker and, yes, the Yule log as well. All right, we're going to take a quick break right here on WCNC Plus as we take a live look right now at I-77. You can see the backups there. Another check of your Monday morning commute next, right here on WCNC Plus.
Good to see you. Christmas is almost here and temperatures only on the rise as we get towards the holiday. 55 degrees for a high today. Looking like this for the first half, and then we'll pick up more clouds and work our way through the afternoon. Highs in the mid-50s is where we should be. And the lower to the mid-70s is what you expect more in October, not December. So Christmas going to be near a record, and the same thing goes for Christmas Eve. And we're still holding true to the lower to the mid-70s Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I think, is the transitional day. That's where we're going to start to cool things down the following day. So enjoy the warmth while we have it, because next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, highs likely below 50 degrees with even some lows dropping down to the 20s on Tuesday and Wednesday morning. There's your forecast, the warmer to the cool forecast. Now let's get to our cool morning forecast with Brittany on our morning commute.
Morning, Chris. Things are definitely picking up here and getting a lot hotter here on the roadways. I-77, both northbound, southbound, starting to slow down here near exit 6 there. That's pretty much between Nations Ford Road all the way up toward Clanton. Southbound is certainly more dense out there right now. You can see this popping up on our map as slow, if not stop and go completely. A wider view shows that things do improve as you get closer to uptown Charlotte and closer, of course, down toward Carowinds Boulevard there, right across the border into South Carolina. A new crash just reported is slowing things down up in Huntersville near exit 42.